Whether you have a chameleon and you're considering getting another pet, or you have other pets and you're considering getting a chameleon, there are definitely some precautions and additional considerations you should keep in mind when going through that decision-making process and things you can do to ensure that your chameleon stays nice and safe. So without further ado, let's get into the video. I want to introduce you to Ember, who is my 1.5-year-old Dalmatian. I got her when she was a teeny tiny little nugget at just 9 weeks old, and at the time I already had Neptune in my other chameleon, so when I decided to get Ember, I had to think about how that's going to impact my chameleons and precautions I need to take, additional considerations. So I just wanted to share with you guys some of my experiences in case you're deciding to get a chameleon and already own other pets like cats or dogs, or vice versa. So hopefully you'll find this helpful. So the first thing that I want to mention is when you have other pets and chameleons, it's a calculated risk. It's never 100% guaranteed that nothing's going to go wrong, but there's definitely things that you can do as a precaution to ensure that your chameleon stays safe and healthy. Very simply, the less often you allow your pets to interact with your chameleon, the less likely and lower chances of something going wrong and things going south. I personally keep all of my reptiles, including my chameleons, inside a reptile room, separate area designated just for them beside my home. So I have a door that can simply open and close to make sure that they are, in a secure area if I'm not able to monitor my dog or other things that could potentially be stressful for my chameleon. So I'd encourage you that when you're deciding where you want to keep your chameleon in your home, first ensuring that it's a low traffic area, but also is it somewhere safe that if they're left unattended, that you have high confidence that nothing's going to happen to them, whether that be kids, pets, something like that. Another thing that I want to bring up is that you should always supervise your chameleon around other pets. Even if your cat or dog or anything else, birds I guess, don't seem interested in your chameleon, it's super important that you supervise them, because it just takes that one time, that one instance where they think your chameleon's a toy and things go bad. Something that I tried to do with my dog when I got her and had the chameleons and everything else was try to deter any interest with the chameleons, like make them seem very boring, not interesting, not exciting. And if she showed any curiosity in their enclosures, I just tried to distract her, and kind of divert her attention elsewhere and just have her realize like, nothing to see here, nothing to play with, these are boring, not fun things. So if your dog has Luna, she's on the screen again. This happened in the last video. Okay, you can come out, only because you're very cute. Come on. Dun, 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 dun. You can do it. There you go. Miss Luna. Alright, so like in instances like this where I'm having Luna out, which is just coincidence, she literally just decided to come out, I would not have my dog around here. I would have my dog in a separate room, so I'm not trying to have to mitigate my chameleon and my dog. And Luna's a very chill chameleon. Like you can see her, she's super chill, doesn't really show any visible signs of stress, but just because she's not showing any outwardly signs of stress around my dog or other pets or things like that doesn't mean she's not stressed internally, or something bad could still happen. So even though neither my dog nor my chameleons really seem to be bothered by each other, I wouldn't even risk putting them in the same room together, especially like this where Luna is out and exposed. Also, you can see I'm rocking my Pangea reptile shirt, so as always you can use code Neptune10 to get 10% off your first order there, so feel free to check that out, and if you use my affiliate link, that does support me and all of the critters. Another thing you can do is pet-proof your enclosure, so things like having them separated by a door. I know some people put like baby gates around their enclosures, especially with cats that could potentially climb the screen or rip the screen and then get to your chameleon. I know some people put like little wood fences around their enclosures. Some people like to do those vinyl backgrounds on their enclosures, so then the screen is protected. My backgrounds are from petbackdrops.com. Code Neptune1 always saves you 15% off your order. So I know someone reached out to me about the background specifically because they have a cat, so they wanted to kind of protect the sides from their cat scratching it up. You could also put a lock on your enclosure if you're nervous that any of your pets would potentially break in the enclosure and get to your chameleon, that would be an option. Also a hybrid enclosure. I know some people have chosen to do hybrids, again, to make them more sturdy than a screen enclosure, especially again with cats. And then if you have other reptiles and you're considering getting a chameleon, make sure there's a visual barrier between your reptiles. So like my crested gecko cannot see my chameleons, who cannot see each other, and there's visual barriers between all of my reptiles. And so that's something that helps alleviate any stress or any cause for the chameleon to think that they're being threatened. And it's super important that you don't let your reptiles interact with each other. Even if they're the same species, like two chameleons should not be messing with each other. A bearded dragon and a gecko and a chameleon, like just keep your reptiles separate, handle them, interact with them one by one. And in no instance should you have the two of them together unless, of course, you're trying to mate them. And I think it's always important that you have an emergency plan put in place in case something does go wrong. I was watching an exotic pet vet TV show on Discovery Channel, and they had an emergency room, so they would get cases all the time. And they had, I think it was a leopard gecko, come into the emergency room because the family's dog had gone to the gecko and like ripped off its tail. From what I remember, the gecko didn't end up making it, but they did at least have a plan in place and was able to rush the reptile to the vet. Like I said, the less often you allow them to interact, the less likely it is something bad would happen. But in the instance that something does happen, then it's always good to have an emergency plan in place. So the gist of it is, try to take some precautions, try and make your enclosure nice and sturdy, pet-proof it, keep your chameleons in a separate room or a separate area where if you're unable to monitor or supervise your pets, you know that your chameleon is staying safe. Also make sure those enclosures are up off the ground. Not only is that beneficial for your chameleon to feel safe and secure, but less likely that your pets are gonna interact with them. And remember, just because your chameleon's not showing any outwardly signs of stress, doesn't mean it's not stressful for them to interact with different pets like cats and dogs. So I hope this was helpful. You guys got to meet Ember, my Dalmatian, and of course Luna came out to say hi as well. There you go. So yes, it's definitely possible to have furry critters with scaly critters as long as we are smart, safe, and taking the necessary precautions. Then you could enjoy all kinds of animals, all kinds of pets inside your little family zoo. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Leave any questions or comments down below. Feel free to subscribe so you know I post a new video. Follow Neptune and all my commands on social media at Neptune the Chameleon, including Miss Luna. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye! I don't want to wave too big and like freak out Luna. Bye guys. Precautions you should take. Feel free to subscribe so you know